Hi, my name's Dan Petrone. I'm in Culinary 232 at Kendall College doing my final project on Renee Reagan. She's an account executive and management at Local Foods. She grew up in the northern part of Illinois in Round Lake. She had no cooking experience until she got to college. The closest thing she ever did to cooking when she grew up was working in the movie theater and the concession stand making the popcorn. She went to Northwestern University in Evanston, and she got her BA in sociology. That's when she found out she was kind of a finicky eater and didn't like a lot of things. So she started to cook for herself, started making a lot of different types of foods, and found her love for cooking. She quickly abandoned her aspirations for law school and decided to go to Kendall College and get through the accelerated program and get her degree from there. After she graduated, when she got her internship from Kendall, she went to Frontera Grill. She did basically internship. She was a line cook. She was a prep cook, and then after she finished her internship, she ended up working in Rick Bayless's basically his brand business. So she became development and research, or research and development, and started basically developing his salsas that went in his jars, the packets that those little packet things that he sells that you can put in your sauce and make it taste good. She started helping with it. She developed all that. She's still, even now that she's many years, over 7 years gone from from working for Rick Bayless's companies, she is still working closely with him as a friend, on a friend level, helping him with his TV show, his books, and his internet program. Basically, doing food stylings, food demos, all that stuff, helping him out on a very close level. Um, After she left the restaurant, the research and development industry with Rick Bayless, she started working for his local chain restaurants that he has. There's not many. She's in charge of about 8 of them in the region. From what she did there, she did more research and development on creating the menus, and she created the menus for all 8 restaurants. There, she was almost like a general manager. She would only cook on opening nights of the restaurants, but she would still go from restaurant to restaurant to make sure all the cooks, all the uh, all the staff was on board with what they were doing in the restaurants. Um, what happened while she was there is she found out that a lot of people that she was in charge of weren't really, they were just kind of there as like a nine, they're like, oh, it's Monday through Friday 9 to 5 mentality, even though it's restaurant hours, but they were just like get in, get out, get your paycheck, and that's it. And so she couldn't figure out like why that was the mentality, why the food wasn't coming out the way her recipes were designed. And then she found out a lot of people just didn't care because they had never worked in a restaurant before, and she found out that a lot of them had never tasted the food before. So what she did is she realized, as a manager, what she would do is she set aside special nights where she would just make everything on the menu and have everyone taste it so they knew what it was supposed to taste like. And this kind of inspired her staff to kind of put that extra foot forward to make the food taste better and actually know how it's supposed to taste as well. Um, so with that in her management style was that she listens to everyone. She listens to everyone from the dishwasher to the sous chef and to the sous chef. Everyone's opinion is important because if anyone in that link like has a problem, that's going to affect the whole outcome of the whole restaurant, of the whole night, of everything. She's a very firm believer that a dictatorship does not work in a kitchen. Many chefs believe it does. She does not. She's lucky because she found this managerial style very quickly in her career because she worked with someone like Rick Bayless, he's been so successful over the years that he can literally. She saw how he did it, so she did it the same way. Uh, and apparently it worked because she didn't really have to modify her managerial style over the course of her 7 years working in the restaurant industry. Um, she she did have some missteps at the beginning. She found out when she was in charge of people, because up till that point she'd just been one of the people, one of the line cooks, one of the crew in the kitchen. So she didn't really understand that you can't be friends with everyone. You're the boss. If you're friends with them, they're not going to take you as seriously as they should. There might You might tell them to do something. They're like, oh yeah, Renee's telling us to do something. We're buddies. We're pals. I can just get away with doing nothing. But once she figured out that that's like detrimental to the success of a business or a restaurant, she quickly moved on and realized you can't be friends with people you are in charge of, and it's kind of just a fact of life and everything. Um, she was lucky that she's never had to really worry about the hiring and firing, because she's had such great human resources departments in the company she's worked for, which is rare in the restaurant industry. She talked extensively about how much she loves human resources and how great it is for overall employee morale. Everyone, like, you can report things if you see things that are wrong, that you don't feel it's your place to say something. She's seen so many times in other restaurants that don't have human resource departments, people, they either just let go or leave, and that's no way to run a business. That's just going to get everyone. It's bad for morale in general. You can't just be like working in a company where you can't report anything that you see that is wrong, and they're just going to keep doing it wrong, and that weighs on you after a while. So she learned that's also huge to the restaurant industry, the fact that there's human resources departments now. And her communication skills are phenomenal, because she's able to talk to every level of her employees. She doesn't just be like, well, I'm just going to talk to the one person right below me and they'll tell me what they're saying. It's like, no, because people lie. We all know that. So she talks to everyone. And then when she left, she did eventually leave Rick Bayless, even though she still does work with him from time to time on his television, internet, and books and all that stuff. That's when she went to Local Foods, and now it's a little bit different. She works with Local Foods is it's basically a grocery store with a butcher department and a bunch of, it's all local to the Chicago area. So local cheeses, local meats, local beers. There's a small cafe there, so they deal with, but on the cafe's busiest day, they're not dealing with the lightest day of a restaurant. And she says she took all her managerial what is the word I'm looking for? Experience. That's the word I'm looking for. She took all that experience from working in a high stressful, fast paced restaurant industry, and now she can work in a slower pace, less people, and it's actually made her a better manager now, because you have better communication. You don't have to talk about it afterwards. You can talk about it while an issue's happening. It overall is a great fit for her. She felt that and she ultimately ended up outside of the kitchen, but still in the food industry. And Local Foods is a great establishment in the city of Chicago, so in the neighborhood of Bucktown, and it's really doing good things for sustainability in the country and the city as a whole. If more places like that were opened, we'd be doing a lot better here. Okay, so that's about all I have to say about Renee Reagan. She's a great manager, doing great things for sustainability and the food industry in the city of Chicago. Thank you.